Good morning. Today we're going to talk about just factoring in general. The one way that works almost all the time for factoring. And so we're going to talk about that the way that we did it in class. Again, this is a quick review. So watching these videos, the understanding is that you've already seen this before. If not, then you may want to watch a more in-depth video. But for now, we're just going to do it the way we did it in class, briefly. All right, so we're going to review how to factor using the box method. And if you were in my class this semester, spring 2020, you'll know that I didn't use this method until this semester when Mr. Biscuit, my co-teacher, showed me, and you guys seem to like it. So since I'm doing this for you during our Corona break, we'll see how it goes. Now, remember that what we're doing is factoring. It is the opposite of this process. Okay, we're going backwards. We're going from the answer to the problem, basically. So I'm going to write the steps out as I go, and hopefully that'll help someone. All right, so the first thing we want to do is check and see, is there a GCF? All right, so look at all three terms. We can divide this by 4. We can divide this by 4, but we can't divide this by 4. We can divide this by 2, but not this by 2. So for this problem, we have no GCF. All right, next, we're going to draw the box and the T-chart. All right, so we'll have a box and a T-chart. And in the T-chart, this one is multiply and this one is add, if you recall. All right, so what we're going to do is fill in the numbers in the chart. This one is the first term. This is the last term. Okay, you can see we took them from here and here. They go into our box, and in the chart, this one, 4 times 5 is 20. First term times the last term. This one is the middle number, negative 12. So they need to multiply to equal 20 and add up to 12. And then we go ahead and list our factors. So 20 is 1 times 20, 2 times 10, 4 times 5, and those are all the positive answers. Okay? We want to figure out which pair of these could add up to negative 12. Knowing that this is positive and this is negative, we know all of our things have to be negative, all of our factors, because two positive negatives make a positive when you multiply. So negative 1 plus negative 20 is not negative 12. Negative 2 plus negative 10 is negative 12. And negative 4 plus negative 5 is negative 9. So we want this answer. So what you're going to do is you're going to fill them into the chart. Negative 2n from here, negative 10n from there. All right, and now we're going to use the GCF to find the terms for this. So we're going to look at this row. What is the GCF of 4n squared and 2n? 2n. Okay. What is the GCF of negative 10n and 5? Since the first term is 5, we're going to put a negative, and both of them can be divisible by 5. We don't have an n because this one doesn't have an n. All right, let's look this way. What is the GCF of these two terms? 2n. What is the GCF of these two terms? Well, since the first one is negative, it will be negative. And there is nothing else that they have in common, so we're going to put a 1. All right. You should have your answer set up at the bottom. All right. I forgot to write that up here. Set up answer. Okay. And now we're going to put the outside pieces in. So here we have 2n minus 1. That goes into one parenthesis. And this way, 2n minus 5 into the other. And that's the answer. That is factored. Okay, hopefully that helped you review. We're going to do 3 quick problems together. Now, if you feel like you already know how to do it, it would be smart to just pause the video, try it, and then check your answer. All right, here we go. Step 1. Is there a GCF? Nope, no GCF. Step 2. Set up your box, your T-chart, and your answer. Okay. All right, we're going to fill in the boxes. So this one is going to be x squared, and this one will be 8. In order to fill in our chart over here, we're going to multiply the first times the last, keeping in mind you have an implied 1. 1 times 8 is 8. This one is the middle term. So we want numbers that will multiply to equal 8 and add up to 6. The factors of 8, 1 and 8, 2 and 4. And you could do -1 and -8, or -2 and -4. This is positive. 2 plus 4 equals 6. That's what we want. Okay, this one works. So now we're going to take those two numbers and put them in here. 2x, 4x. All right, and now we're going to use the GCF process to find the factors. What is the GCF of x squared and 2x? X. What is the GCF of 4x and 8? 4. What is the GCF of x squared and 4x? Just x. And what is the GCF of 2x and 8? 2. All right, so our answer will be x plus 2 and x plus 4. That is the answer. All right, let's look at number 2. Always say, can I take out a GCF? Is there a GCF in these two terms? The answer is yes, there is a GCF. The GCF is going to be 4. So I'm going to rewrite the answer like we did when we're doing a GCF. This is going to just be k squared, and this one is going to be 9. So that's the first step. But the problem is that there's actually more to do here. So that's why I'm doing this example. When we have done problems like this, we have gone ahead and set up the answer at the bottom. Okay. This is a special case, so that's why I'm showing you how to do it. Instead of writing it like this, we want 3 terms. K squared plus 0k minus 9. And we can keep that 4 in front if you want. This part is important. We don't have a middle term, so we need to put a middle term in order to use this process. All right, so we need a box. And our T-chart. All right, for our box, we're going to have k squared and -9. All right, and we need to multiply first term times last term. Now keep in mind that 4 is right here just waiting for us, this 4. We took out the GCF and now it's just waiting at the bottom. All right, so 1 times negative 9 is negative 9. Okay. And we need it to add up to the middle term, which is 0. So 1 times negative 9. The factors of 9 are 1 and 9, 3 and 3. And in order for this to be negative, one of them has to be negative. All right? There is no way for negative 1 and 9 or 1 and negative 9 to add up to 0. So this one's gone. But negative 3 plus 3 does equal 0. So those are going to go here. Negative 3k, positive 3k. Okay? And now we're going to find the GCF. What is the GCF of these two terms? It's k. What is the GCF of this? What could you divide them both by? We could divide them both by 3. What is the GCF of those? Well, we can divide them both by k. They both have a k. And what is the GCF of these? Since this one is negative, it's going to be negative, and we can divide them both by 3. So over here, we're going to take k minus 3, k plus 3. And that is the answer, factored completely. All right, if you feel like, woohoo, I get this, then go ahead and try number 3 on your own. I'm going to go through it now just as a last example because this is one of the hardest topics. If you've tried this a million times and you still don't get it, I will show you the other way I used to do it. So just email me or something and I'll do that. All right, here we go. Step 1, is there a GCF? We can divide this by 3. Can we divide that by 3? No. 1? Yeah, so there's no GCF. So next step, draw your box and your T-chart and set up your answer. All right, step 1. Step 2, we're going to fill in the boxes. This box gets the first term. This box gets the last term. All right, that's filled in. Multiply your first coefficient by your last coefficient. So 3 times negative 8 is negative 24. And this term here, right here, is the middle number, negative 2. All right, we need to figure out the factors of 24, negative 24 really. So we have 1 and 24, 2 times 12 is 24, 3 times 8 is 24, 4 times 6, 5, no, 6. We already have. All right, so we're good. These are all of the factors, but this is negative, right? So we need one of these factors to be negative. For me, I look at this one and say, well, if this is negative, it has to be the bigger number. Otherwise, you can just try it a million ways. Now we want to see which pair of factors adds up to negative 2. Negative or 1 minus 24 is not negative 2. 2 and negative 12, not negative 2. 3 and negative 8 is negative 5, so no. 4 plus negative 2, or sorry, 6 equals negative 2. Yes, that's the one we wanted. So we're going to take these numbers and put them here. 4x, negative 6x. Okay, again, this is a review of what we did in class so that I hope you see how it works. All right, now we're in the GCF part, so we're going to look at each pair, 3x squared and 4x. The GCF is x. Negative 6x and negative 8. We're going to do negative because the first term is negative, and we can divide both of these by 2. Okay, next. 3x squared and negative 6x is going to be 3x. 4x and negative 8 is going to be 4, the GCF. All right, now down here we have 3x plus 4 and x minus 2. And it's done. All right, that seemed really confusing, but when we did it in class, you guys did great. So hopefully you got it, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.